Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See,
Way
it
to
turns
go.
huge value added.
No
All right.
problem. All right. So you guys have been blessed with this incredible experience because I have my hair down tonight, and anybody who knows me knows I don't ever have my hair down. So here we go. We're gonna start it off right. My son was like, "You kept your hair down for me." It's probably because it's my birthday, and I was like, "Yes, that's exactly why." So I, like Alicia said, I got started with Plexus a year ago in January. But before that, I had been Cheryl's virtual assistant for about 4 years. So I actually helped create all the systems that the team had implemented over the last 4 years and just refused to buy in that this was something that I wanted to get to do. See all those beautiful books behind me? Those were all free from my previous company because that's what I did. I sold children's books. So I got a lot of experience through that company. I have worked for a number of people, like dozens of people in the direct sales industry across many different countries, companies, leggings, candles, nail polish, you name it. So this stuff was like, okay, just another company. I never saw myself as a health coach. And in January, when I started taking the products, it was because I said, enough is enough, and I need to change something about my own physical health. I knew what the products could do because I was the one posting those testimonies in the testimony group. I was the person putting together the events for Cheryl and sometimes posting them for her when she was doing messenger chat events. Like I knew all the stuff because I was watching all the videos. I just refused to believe that I was at the point that I needed it. It wasn't so much that I thought that it wasn't going to help me. I just was like, I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat and do whatever I want to do. And I don't need to take this stuff. But something clicked on January 1st. And my boyfriend, he was so sweet. And when I was like, I need to do something, like I'm sick of how fat I am, and I don't want to look like this and feel like this anymore. He's like, you're not fat. And I was like, you're really nice, but I am, and I need to do something. So I messaged Cheryl, and I was like, I have that half a bag of Slim and a bag of Active in my cabinet that you sent me on some promo, probably because she needed like one more person to sign up for something or other. And so she signed me up, and she was like, I'll send you some samples. Okay. But I was like, what do I take? How do I start taking this? And what's it going to do for me? So she got me started with Triplex at the time, our gut health system. And I had the Active, but I refused to think that I needed it every day. Man, was I wrong, because I now take one or two or sometimes three a day. And Restore. And the Restore was because I had had years, I'm talking 7 years of allergy shots. I've had all the vaccines that kids have growing up. But I also had some weird ones like malaria and typhoid because I did some traveling when I was in college and I was in the Amazon for an extended period of time. So I had like some weird stuff in my system. I never got the COVID shot, but I knew as well that so many years of Excedrin and ibuprofen and Tylenol for migraines was just killing my liver. So I was like, what's that liver detox one? I probably need that. Like I knew what the products were, I just didn't know what they were called. So I was like, I probably need that one. And isn't that supposed to help with appetite control too? And she's like, yeah, it's a good one for weight loss. And I was like, good, sign me up. That one I want too. So it's just funny that like I kind of knew what I needed without admitting that I needed it. But that's kind of how I got started. And then I said, all right, so you know my situation. I'm a single mom. I have three little kids. I don't have a penny to my name. It's 7 days after Christmas. Like, I can't afford this stuff. I maxed out my credit card to make my first purchase. And she was like, if you do that in the first month, we'll make sure that you get the cost of your products covered. And I was like, that's fine. I will do whatever you tell me, but I'm not coaching. I'm not going to do this. My heart is not in this. I do not have a passion for this. You can't make me do it. I said it over and over again. You can't make me coach. But she would say to me, I was like, I don't feel like I haven't had a headache in like a week. And she was like, that's a post. And I was like, just tell me what to put. So she'd spoon feed me the post. I'd put it on Facebook. And sure enough, I'd have messages or people commenting. And she was like, open up three-way chats with them. Okay. So after 3 or 4 months of watching her do the same thing over and over again, I was like, I probably could do this. If I put a little bit more effort into this, maybe I could do this. And so in mid March, I booked a really big book fair for this company. with a school that I had been working so hard to get into for years. Like these people that you recruit and think that they're going to be your business builders and you have to talk to them for years and years and years. One, that's what Cheryl was doing to me because I was 4 years in and she was still working on me. But two, I had been trying to get this school to sign up with me to do a book fair. They were local. I knew that it was going to go well. It was a private charter school. Like there's people that have some decent money there. And I knew that I could make some money with the books. So I messaged Cheryl and I was like, "You're never gonna believe it. This school, they're gonna let me do their books." And she was like, That's awesome, good for you. I'm so happy." Meanwhile, she's like coaching all my people. And I was like, theoretically, like, what point do I get with Plexus? Because I had moved up. I was already senior silver at that point without working for it. I was senior silver. And I was like, what point do I get with Plexus that I can't also be selling books? Like if this Plexus thing takes off, where do I have to draw the line? Because I knew where the line was with the books and I didn't want to hit that line. And she was like, "Well, it's Emerald, which means you're making six figures. You've got a free car and a trip to Hawaii." And I was like, "Well, then I guess that'll have to happen after October because that's when my book fair is." Within seconds, I was in a chat with Alita. "DeDe's going Emerald by October." I was like, I was kidding. I was kidding. That was not part of my plan. That's not what I said. So she got me on a call with Alita within like, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. And whatever it was that Alita said, she was like, "I want to hear your story. Like, I know your story because I've talked to Cheryl, but like, tell me your story." She was able to relate to me with the single mom thing and obviously her husband passing and having little kids and how she really dove into her business. And at one point, she was asking some questions about my custody schedule, which is really wonky. And I have my kids like every couple days, they switch back and forth. And she's like, "So, your child support?" And I was like, "Oh no, there's no child support." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "No, I'm not making child support. Like, this is the part of the problem is I need to make money to make up for this. So I do everything I can in the times that I can. I don't have a 9 to 5. I work all these part-time jobs." She was like, "You have the perfect combination of inspiration and desperation. And that's what you need in this business." And those words have just stuck in my head. Like, yeah, I kind of do. I kind of do have that. And something lit a fire under me after that conversation with Alita. I ended up earning the iPad in March. I think it was March was the iPad, and April was like $500 cash or something like that. And at that time, I was like, "Okay, you know what? I feel like I can take this business somewhere." I took that $500 and went to Dick's with my kids and bought them everything that they needed for baseball that year, which I never could have done. Last spring, I let them pick out their own bats and their bags and their helmets, and they got everything that they wanted. And they couldn't believe that I was able to go do that for them. And then we set some bigger goals. And I said, later in the summer, if we do this, we'll do this. And with Ruby and in December, I told my kids, if we can bring on 30 new people onto our team, I will let you guys pie me in the face. And they just thought that that was the best thing. So I got hit with five. I have 3 kids, but with 5 plates of whipped cream on New Year's Eve because right around dinner time, we had the 30th new person join our team. And by the end of the night, and I'm talking like 11:59, I ranked up Ruby. And my promise to my kids was if I hit Ruby, I would take them to Great Wolf Lodge. So y'all, we're going to Great Wolf Lodge tomorrow and we're spending the night and we're doing the extra pass and we're doing the obstacle course and all the things because my kids have helped me to build this business. They've been invested in that and they really wanted to be part of it. And so that's where my story goes. I would just encourage you to keep going. And if you've got kids, help them get their buy-in. My kids wanted to make a video. It was right before Christmas. And they were like, "How many people have signed up so far? Like, we want to make a video and update them." Okay, fine. So we spliced a video together. They took all these clips in the car and they were like, "If we can help this many more people," we talked about the difference between if you get this many people and if we can help this many people. It wasn't just getting new people. It was, what are we doing here? What's the goal? That kind of thing. So yeah, they were very invested in it. And every day it was, how many more people can we buy? So yeah, it's not just getting people. It really is. It's helping people and helping others help others. I've got a pretty strong builder under me, which has been awesome. And I've been able to run with her, but it's not all on her. I need to keep recruiting. I worked hard at Icon. I decided in June when we were at convention, everyone was like, I'm gonna register for convention before I leave because it's a discounted rate. And I said, I'm not registering for that. And Cheryl's like, what do you mean you're not registering? I said, I'm coming back, but I'm not paying for it. If that's a perk for Icon, then I'm earning Icon. I'm not paying for it. So I refused to register because I said, I will be a founding Icon. And I hit founding Icon on December 31st when we had 6 rank ups in 6 hours. It was insane, but we just kept working and we made it all happen at the last minute. So just encourage you to keep pushing, keep shooting for it because there are people out there that need this.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much, DeDe. And I don't know if you are taking notes, but I'm over here like scribbling on things and put it in the chat and stuff. I love, like, my huge takeaway from that is that you didn't start out with the belief, that your belief grew. Like, you were kind of just joking about going Emerald this year. And, you know, the big thing is, like, your person took action. They saw that belief before you even saw that belief, and they were excited about it. And, you know, someone told you and poured more belief in you, and you're like, okay, yeah, okay, we're going Emerald, you know? And, you know, obviously you didn't hit Emerald, but you hit freaking Ruby this year, which is huge, y'all. Ruby is a couple $1,000s a month. Like, I don't know about, like, just stop and think for just a minute. Like, what would a couple $1,000s a month do for you? Like, what would it do for your family? What kind of relief could that give to you? What kind of like extra could things go to? Like, I love that so much, that your belief grew and you didn't start that way. DeDe, I asked my girls if they had anything that they could ask you. And one of the questions was, what keeps you motivated when it feels like nothing is happening? Because I know probably every single person on here, except for like maybe Paige, because Paige is so new, but I love that you're on here already because that just shows like a hunger, and hunger trumps like knowledge and anything else, that you're just having that willingness just to do it. That's a huge hump for a lot of people. So like, pat yourself on the back in the tub because you're doing the thing. Like, this is doing the thing. But we have all experienced times of sending the messages, making the post, nobody's liking, nobody's commenting, nobody's reaching out, no matter how many times you say, DM me for more, and you like know somebody read your post and felt it, but yet they can't tap the like button. It's like not a good feeling. Or you're messaging and messaging and messaging, and they're not cringy messages. They're legitimate. They're connecting, like they're done the right way. And still, like, you see their little face pop up. So like, you know, they read it. And I'm bad about looking at messages and saying I'm going to come back to it and not, but you know, 30 in a row didn't look at it and say that happened, you know? So what do you do when it feels like nothing is happening and you're doing all the right things? You're doing all the things Cheryl told you to, all the things we talk about in Power 30, and it's not moving. Like, what do you do, and what keeps you going in those moments?
In December, it was knowing that I have to go pick my kids up. And if somebody else hasn't joined, I'm not going to hear the end of it because they were ready to pie their mom in the face. That was my motivation all through December, because I picked them up every few days and they were like, how many more people signed up this week? So that was definitely a motivating factor for me. And knowing that I was going to be able to take them on this trip was huge. My next motivating factor, or whatever, move, is I'm shooting for Emerald by convention. So every day I had written down a couple of goals like on a sticky note when I was on a call the other day, and I put them on my fridge like right by the handle just because it was on the counter and I got it off the counter. But every single time I open up my refrigerator, it says Emerald by convention, Emerald by convention. I just ordered myself a green dress, which is still on the counter. I need to go hang it. But I ordered myself a green dress to walk across the stage, and my goal was to put that on when my daughter was home. So now that she is, but tonight was a little crazy with my son's birthday. But I'm going to hang that dress up where I can see it every day. I changed the background of my phone so that it has my, like, I need to, well, I can read it. I'll read it to you. There's 101 messages. Let me clear them. Hang on. Get out of my way. It says, I show up with purpose and lead with integrity, consistency, and heart. Every action I take today moves me and others forward. I celebrate small wins, build something bigger than myself, and become the leader my future team needs. So when I need that reminder, it's there every time it's on my lock screen. Sometimes it's frustrating because people aren't responding, but you just got to circle back like, hey, I noticed you saw my message. Like, I can see you read it. I noticed you saw my message. Must have just been a busy time for you. Sorry if it wasn't a good time, popping back in. Like, I am the queen of follow up, and I will follow up relentlessly until I get an answer. And when I get a no, I'm like, that's great. I'll put you on my list for next time. Like, you're just going to keep, because if you know that something is good for somebody and they just can't see it yet, it doesn't mean that it's never going to be good for them. I've also done some reach outs to some people that I thought for sure I had sent them a message like, hey, have you ever heard of Plexus before? And I hadn't. There was a girl that I knew through the book company. I messaged her last week because I saw a picture of her son at a Bruins game, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's 10 already. Like, it was more just like, whoa, happy birthday to your kid. Didn't realize he was so old. Like, I feel old kind of thing. How is everything going? How have you been? And that turned into her saying, actually, I ended up getting divorced. Now I've got 2 kids on my own. And we connected on the single mom thing. And I was like, I've been doing this business. She's like, yeah, I've been following you for a year. Like, what are you doing? And it turned into this whole thing where she started building, posting, creating reels, and reaching out to people before she even bought her products yesterday. So all last week, I was working on kind of building her up before she even pulled the trigger. And now she's got products coming in, and she's got people that are already in 3-way chats. And she hasn't even, well, she has taken them because I met her with samples. But it's very possible to reconnect with people, and it might just be the right time to reach out to them. People that you wouldn't think you should reach out to them anyway. It doesn't always need to be, hey, have you heard of Plexus? It might just be, oh my gosh, your kid's 10 already. I feel old. I remember talking with you about which toddler books would be best for him 10 years ago. So how did that happen? Just connecting with those old friends and seeing if maybe something fits. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But those genuine connections really are important too.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love this so much. And we haven't talked about it just a whole lot as a team, but Ashley and I came up with this idea with your list of 100. And, making your list of 100 is a very old school network marketing technique that does work. Okay. People have built empires in the direct sales and network marketing industry on their making a list of 100 and then messaging those. But not everybody does that, and people see it and they really uncomfortable with it. And so what do you do when you're that person that literally cannot make yourself get out of that comfort zone, and then you feel like you have no one to message and things like that? Like those are thoughts that go through most everybody's head. So we have created an idea that is our living list of 100. And so you are still going to make your list of 100. I was going to drop this in our team chat tomorrow morning, but I'll go ahead and tell you about it now. It's your list of 100. I want every single person to get off here, and tonight, it'll take you like 15 minutes tops. Make a list of 100. You're going to do 4 different categories, okay? You're going to do like your dream team category. Like when you started working this business or you think about it, who do you absolutely want to do this business with? Write it down. Okay. When you run out of that, your second category is people that you know, or that like you don't know, but you know them. People who have a lot of network and influence. Okay. Make your list of that there. Whether you're good friends with them or not, that's not what this is about. This is a memory jogger just to put things down. Okay. Your third category is people that you know need the products because either they've been posting about being tired or exhausted or, bad skin issues, anything that you know that's affected by your gut that we can help, that they have said, or that you just know, write them down. Okay. And the fourth is the same thing, but with money. People that you know need the extra money. Single mamas that are struggling. Like we needed it. We're a 1-income household. I'm not a single mama, but we're a 1-income household. Or a lot of times y'all business owners really struggle because they're grinding. Like they got to pay employees and everything, or they're time broke. You're going to do those 4 categories: dream teamers, networkers, products, and income. Okay. And every single day, you're going to go and reach out to whatever your number is. If it's 3, if it's 5, if it's 10, and it's 20. Every single day, you're going to intentionally go to those people and connect with them. You're not going to like Plexus word vomit on them. Okay. You're going to go into their stories. You're going to go to their Facebook posts, and you are going to make some kind of connection with them, because just like what happened with DeDe, she didn't go immediately into Plexus and all this stuff. She went and connected with that person. And you just don't ever know who is watching because you're making the post, you're sending the stories. You're like, people may not be commenting, but they're watching. I can't tell you how often I get a message from someone that I connected with that's like, oh, yeah, I've been watching you and I've been doing this for a year now. And it's like, wait, what? You've never commented on anything. You've never pushed the like button. I didn't even know you were in my stories. And here they have been that whole time. So sometimes when we're connecting with people, it opens up the door to new prospects in a genuine connecting way. Because sometimes when we reach out with Plexus, they don't know our heart. You don't reach out to be cringe, but that's the way they feel because of the way the industry has done. And some people just can't get over that hump. So now you have an intentional daily action. Still reach out to people about Plexus, still do the things like you got goals with your business, and it's going to depend on what your goal is. I know DeDe, Nicole, and I, like, we're running for Emerald by June. That's 6 months to be in the top 1% of this company. We're going to have to do some things that get outside of our comfort zone drastically. But when you are just running for any goal, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone some. And I think it's easier when you already have a good connection with people. So it's our living list of 100. Just go make it. Seriously, it'll take you 15, 20 minutes top. Go write it all down. I like a notebook, put it in your phone, whatever, in those 4 categories, and connect every single day with 3 of those people. I like stories best because that way when you're following up or you do reach out about Plexus, they see that you're not their Plexus salesman. Okay. You don't just come into their inbox talking about Plexus. If you've reached out before, make a follow-up list and do that because you've talked about Plexus. It's not the right time, or they ghosted you and they see you're involved. And now when you come to follow up, they're like, okay, it's not, because I know y'all and I know your heart. And I know you're not just some Plexus salespeople. Like, you genuinely share this because you've got something that can help other people. But I love that so much, DeDe. I took so many notes right there. Stay close to your goals. Keep it visible. I know Megan Malakovic keeps her dream board on the background of her phone. It's like on her screensaver. She took a picture of it. It's on her screensaver. If you don't know who Megan is, Megan's a diamond in our company. It's one of other Alita's downline. It's Cheryl's daughter. Find something that motivates you. For you, it was your kids. I know for me, it's, I'm hearing my kids, like, so y'all know my husband works a whole lot. There's days he barely sees them. And my 4-year-old especially will cry at bedtime, like, where's daddy? And Matthew's just not home yet. Like, I can't help it. And it crushes me. Find something that when it gets hard, motivates you to keep going. Be the queen of the follow-ups. We all need a little crown. You're not bothering people. Okay. And if it is, that's on them. That's not on you. Like, it takes a millisecond to say, hey, I'm not interested. Okay. And I can promise you, the more you follow up people, the more you realize most people are not annoyed or bothered by it and things like that. And it's not a big deal. There are plenty of times that they're just legitimately busy. They're cooking supper. They saw their phone and they put it down and didn't come back to it, because Plexus may be on our minds, but it's not on theirs. Yeah.
Swiped it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. John, my 2-year-old, he's the worst at, like, touching everything, and you're like, stop that. And he hits my notifications. So yeah, like, we tell a story in our head sometimes that's not the true story. And, like, we're worried they're annoyed or bothered and stuff like that. And most of the time they're not. They're just lifing, just like we are. They're just lifing. And then connections, what I wrote down. And we just talked about that with the list of 100. So we are wrapping up. But DeDe, do you have any final words? And we don't have to, because DeDe is the one who nudged me to get the pro Zoom so we don't kick off here.
I have a question that I think would be really beneficial to ask for ask DeDe to answer, and then ask Alicia's take on this. So when we're getting help and we're getting coached from our uplines or corporate, a lot of times we are told to disconnect ourselves from the result of rejection. Okay. And I kind of wanted to touch on this because I have somebody new on here. I know there's a few new faces around here, and I think it's something really important for them to be subjected to really early on, in knowing that because you post something and you get 7 likes instead of your normal 300, because you post something in your story and you get 15 views and then you get, the views go down, that does not define anything. Okay. And disconnecting yourself from that result and saying, I'm posting this because I'm planting seeds. So you guys really, really lean into that and really think about when I plant a seed in the garden, if I water it one time, there is no fruit coming from it. Continue to water that seed until the fruit is flourishing. And don't think I'm going to do something one time and it's just going to explode and it's just going to be this thing, because that's just not how it is. So that was one thing I wanted to touch on. And then the other thing I wanted to touch on was getting all the things out of your head. Okay. So stop thinking, okay, well, they didn't respond, so I must have not said it right. No, what you said was true. You approached them for the good reason, but it wasn't you, it's them. Okay. But still follow up. So anyway, those were two things that like I just think are really important for the newer people. And so if you guys want to touch on that, but my brain just kept going to that because I think it's really important. One, I can say it to my people all day long. You guys can say it to your people all day long. But until they know, like we've been through this, and I'm always like, trust me, I swear. So anyway.
Well, I know that it's true. We say all the time, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So when it's meant to be received, it will be received the way that it should be received. If you are getting lots of no's, I actually was trained in my last business to go for the no. And we would do no challenges and see how many people we could get to say no, because somewhere along the way, somebody was going to say yes. So it was sending messages and follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up until you got that no and went, okay, now I can move on and find myself a yes. We trained ourselves to go for that no, so that you could learn to remove yourself from the situation. And Cheryl has said, I don't even know how many times, she's like, you go out to eat, and the waitress comes to the table and asks, do you want a refill on your coffee? If you say no, she doesn't go back to the kitchen and cry because you told her no. She moves on and goes to the next person and figures out who else wants their coffee refilled. You can't be attached to the outcome. You just can't, because she asked me in so many ways to join her in Plexus for 4 years before I finally said, okay, fine, I'll take the products, but you can't make me do the business. And it was still months after that before I decided to jump in. So sometimes you just have to be patient with people. And we had a conversation going with that in our Jewel chat earlier about somebody was, I think they said it was like 6 years or something like that. They had been working on somebody. Like eventually that person will come around, and if you know that it's right for them and they know that it's right for them, then the timing will connect.
Yeah, I love that. And same thing for me. And I think it's a huge testament that like DeDe took so long. I took 2.5 years to say yes. Nicole took a long time to say yes. And here we are doing fantastic. I know Joey Nay took 3 years to say yes. And y'all, Joey Nay is like literally one of the biggest movers and shakers in this company right now. Like I said, she's one to definitely follow. She's bold, she's brave. She does not care because she's got a big goal and big dreams. But 3 years of I'm not going to do this business actually was big things done happen on small timelines. I was listening to that this morning, and it was a quote from Alex Hermosi, and he's just talking about like a lot of us just don't hang in there long enough for things. Like we see it, we want it quickly, we're not patient enough, but usually big things take a long time to do, or longer than what we want in our head. It's like when it slows down in a month or a few weeks or a couple months, we're like, it's not working, but it is, because this is a business. But absolutely detached from the outcome. When someone from corporate, you'll get to know him. His name's Reed. He's fantastic. He really changed my business in August by telling me that same thing. And because I was like, how do you get people to share and things like that? I couldn't ever really get it to happen very well. And he did what Nicole suggested, which is such a good thing, is detach from the outcome. It does not matter if you get any likes or responses or things like that. Like those will come. I promise. You just keep doing the right things. You keep posting. You keep putting it out there. It will. You keep messaging. It will come. And in the meantime, it's great practice. You're getting more exposure. You're getting better every time you talk, because it is a skill at some point, and it's a skill that's very easily learnable. In this industry is so fantastic because so many different personalities on this call, and every single person can be successful. And it doesn't matter gender, age, personality, like this industry does so well because everyone can do well. So every time you post, though, you are just totally disconnected from the outcome. Find why you post. I post because I literally went from surviving to thriving in my motherhood. Like literally, y'all. Like if Matthew he's in sales, if he had sent me a text, if he's supposed to get off at 7 and he sent me a text at 6:30, like, hey, honey, I've got customers. Well, that meant more than likely he was not going to be home till 8, 9, even later that night. And I would be angry. I would cry. These products literally took me from surviving to thriving with my motherhood. And I had to share that to help somebody else. And so I got in my mind now that when I post, I'm posting for that person and I don't know when she's going to come along. I don't know when she's going to say yes. And for me, it's almost selfish for me to get angry that she hasn't yet, if that makes sense. Because I ground myself into why I'm doing this. I share for that mom. Alita shared her Zoom post on the right day at the right time. I don't know what post I'm going to make that's going to hit the next Alicia on the right day at the right time. And I owe it to her to not be frustrated and quit because no one had said anything the 10 posts prior. So just hang in there. It's worth it. These products work. They work. The longer you're in, the more you're going to fall in love with the testimonies on our team. It's not just some magical unicorns that you see throughout the company. I mean, it is deep in our team of all the amazing testimonies. My mom alone has lost over 60 pounds since June. My stepdad's a type 2 diabetic that's coming off all his meds. Like it's just insane. And that's 3 within a little family here. The products work. We've seen personally the income change people. Look at DeDe, look at Alita. I mean, Alita was widowed. We all know her story. Like people need what we have to offer. We just have to be brave and offer it. And it's easier for me to be brave when I remember that. I remember how we can help people. Does anybody else have a question or something you want touched on or anything like that? I'm going to give it a second because I have a hard time unmuting on my phone. Everybody good? Okay. Well, I love this so much. DeDe, thanks for getting on here and telling us your story and all like the nuggets that you that you gave us. And I know it's something that every single person on here tonight probably got something that they can take away into your business. And so just super grateful for you and that you got on here and do this. And
can I add something really quick? I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
Okay. The last thing I want to tell you guys, and I heard this really early on from somebody else under Alita's level 2, I want to say. I made a snarky comment one time on a Zoom. I said, imagine if we all worked our business like a full-time business. Imagine if we worked it like our job. And she said, I did. That's why I'm Sapphire. And I remember being put in my place a little bit. So this is going to be a little bit harsh. And I'm saying this in a very loving, kind way. If you don't know me yet, I'm a straight shooter. But do not expect a result if you're not willing to put in the work. So don't expect, sapphire diamond money if you're not treating this like a full-time job. If you are not committed and saying like, I want that, and you don't set your eyes on it, it's not going to fall in your lap. So where growth happens, it's uncomfortable, but that's the only place that growth is going to happen is being uncomfortable. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I'm telling you, if your upline's telling you to do something, they're telling you it out of love and wanting success for you. And trust me, when they're telling you to do something, it's because they've already done it and they're like, daggone, that was uncomfortable. But I just had to add that because I think it's really important for people to understand that this isn't just like fall in your lap. Like you can accidentally get to places, but to maintain that and level up comes with uncomfortable sometimes. And that's okay. You're gonna live, I promise. You're gonna make it through. So anyway, I love you guys. DeDe, you did killed it, sis.
Yeah. And like Nicole said, depending on your goals is the level of discomfort you've got to get. And one thing I love about Plexus is there's a place here for everybody. Like if you want just gold money, that's fine. That's going to cover your products. maybe pay for you to go out to eat or something like that. Like it's going to do that. But if you want more, that level of discomfort, you got to get okay with, like Nicole said, that level of discomfort. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like you'll look back one day and realize, oh, a follow up is not a big deal. When I ran for senior gold, I sent so many cold messages, and I would send Alita a message and I would tell Matthew, I'm like, oh, I hate this so much. But I had a goal. I wasn't doing anything wrong. It was so uncomfortable for me, but I had a goal and I went for it. And I was well rewarded for it that month. That month I made like $3,500. Like it was a big month. There was like double bonuses. I was fast start, and I just had a goal. So like Nicole said, like if you want big goals, you're going to have to get used to being uncomfortable and just embrace that. Embrace that that's just part of it. And every single person who's got there, every single person who has succeeded, they just did. They embraced it. Going into Emerald, you guys, is the top 1% of the company, and every single person can do it. You just got to embrace that discomfort and know it's a part of the process. And I think the sooner we recognize that and feel that and like, okay, I'm uncomfortable and that's how it's supposed to be, it'll get easier. Now, sending cold messages does not bother me. I would not whine and cry and be like, I hate this. I wouldn't do it because it's a part of the process. And, but we've all been there. We all do it. And everyone just does that on their growth journey, whether it's here with Plexus, whether it's with another company, whether it's with you working out or trying to eat healthier, or, your job and you're trying to up level to somebody else. Like it's that way across the board. Network marketing means not any different. You are just the one that's responsible for plugging back into you. If you are held responsible to yourself, you ain't got a boss, you ain't got nobody else telling you what to do. And so anyways, okay. 8:42. My ladies, don't forget I'm running that messenger chat in there. It's just literally copy paste. We're working on getting in that new messaging system. So good. DeDe, oh man, we didn't even get into that, but DeDe is so good at that. Her team is using this system. They're growing rapidly. It does work. Had a long conversation with Autumn Swanhart about it. That's what their team's doing it. She just ranked up to Emerald. She had like an Emerald, a Ruby, a Senior Ruby, multiple golds, like in a month. Okay. Like this system works. We were just having a missing piece of that 3-way chat afterwards for follow-up and connection. This is network marketing. We're not connecting enough. And when we do, that's when things really catch fire and take off. So I'm going to post in there over there. And just thanks again, DeDe, Paige,
One
Nicole.
thing about that where you just said,
here.
You just said make those connections. You need to remember to be a person online too. Be a
Don't
person. Post about yourself.
Don't make it weird.
Post about your kids. Post about what you're doing. It doesn't always have to relate to Plexus. It might have a one-liner at the end, like I'm so thankful for Plexus to be able to allow me to do this, but show people who you are as a person and don't just post before and afters. Don't just post pictures of products. Make sure your face is in there all the time, because we can get sucked into business. I've got a goal. Try to remember to put in those personal posts as well so that people are still seeing that side of you too.
Yeah,
that'll help your algorithm.
Oh, 100%. Anytime you see someone post, go like it because that helps them too. Or their stories, go vote in their poll. I know you don't want the gut health system from me, but it boosts my algorithm. So everybody do that if you see it. Okay, for real, y'all know I can't shut up. So I'm really going to push the stop record button.